I think something that really nobody else really talks about that's super valid is the idea of, do you even like what you create? Like, a lot of people either recycle sounds of their idols, so they're basically just learning how to make what their idols make, more or less, and there's not much of their own personal touch to it, which, as we've discussed before, isn't necessarily bad. It's not like you have to take the wheel and totally reinvent it, but like, are you sure that you even like it? And on the surface, it might seem like that's a weird question, like, well, of course I like it, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. But the depth of artistry, the depth of creativity, especially when it intersects with the question of fame, touring, the purpose of making it is for attention, you know, how many likes, how many plays, how many streams, how many views, how many downloads. Things kind of start to get a little distorted. And at that point, I would ask myself, especially if you're feeling frustrated, like, are you even happy with what you do? Like, do you do it because you love it? Or do you do it because you're just looking for comments and you're looking for attention? There's a lot of people who provide track feedback online, and it's like, are you making something that you really enjoy? Or, and it's not always just an or situation, it could be an and or, but do you make things that you enjoy, and or do you make things basically so that you can gain kind of an acceptance or an approval on what it is that you're doing? And that can be helpful, like when you get track feedback, when somebody says you're doing a good job, you're on the right track, like, this sounds good, that can be super helpful, especially when it comes to building confidence as a producer, mix engineer, and mastering engineer. But at the same time, once you get that confidence, you know, work real hard to keep it to the point where it kind of stays, kind of like riding a bike. You know, you could not ride a bike for 2 or 3 years and still be okay to jump on, and pretty much you never forget it, so you're good. But, you know, make sure you like what you do. And it seems ridiculous, but there's so many people out there that seem to only be creating for fame. And to a degree, I did that for a while. Like with the whole trance and house thing that I've discussed before, I started watching the market and looking at the market. And what I mean by the market is the EDM community at large. And, you know, what genre, at that time I was looking at genres that seemed to be timeless, that had a lot of staying power. And although, you know, trance wasn't necessarily the strong focus, there was always, you know, a tent dedicated to it at various festivals, and that crowd is very loyal. So I went for it. The problem was that I mismatched and didn't understand is that while I like trance, I don't just want to make trance. I don't just want to regurgitate uplifting trance, the uplifting trance formula every single time I produce. I was capable of more and I wanted more. And, you know, how many times can you make an uplifting trance track, especially in 2020? You know, the genre has been around for a very long time. And, you know, not just to pick on trance, because I don't mean to, I love trance, but like, evolution is going to happen sort of really whether you want it to or not. And